I don't know. Look in my eyes. What do you see? The cult of personality. It's one of them guys. It's one of those days, guys. It's one of those days. Poor headphone users, RIP headphone users. How you all doing today? Vulture wrote Taurus Jock, and welcome to the final class trial. You will, of course, be able to watch the edited VODs of these streams over on youtube.com/AmiBorshak. So subscribe over there if you haven't already. And yeah, let's just pick up where we left off. We got a trial to finish, and the whole Nagito tied up and impaled situation is kind of left me with more questions than answers last week. So I'm hoping we get the answers we seek. Let's rock. Danganronpa. No? Oh wait, no, I keep diving in. I keep veering over into the Cyber Sleuth music. No, stop that. Bold, Ami. No Cyber Sleuth music. So. Okay. Just making sure levels were good. I think we're okay. So. Last trial interrupted. Yeah, that's about where that has to be where we. Yeah, we actually looped back around. That's fun. Alright, cool.
I'm Monami. By now, there's nothing more for me to say.
Then why are you here?
Anyway, my chest is full of pride right now.
I don't need to know about your chest.
Everyone is united against despair. They're totally awesome.
Are they, though?
That's why I'm gonna fight too.
Sure.
I will fight the only way I can. I'm gonna show that guy my fearsome retaliation.
Are you gonna get your magic stick back and become a magical girl or something?
That's basically it.
So if we're working together, where do we start? With the cause of death missing from the Monokuma file?
Why don't we try removing all our preconceived notions before we discuss this? In the beginning, our discussion advanced by assuming Nagito's death was caused by the spear. It's better to confirm if there are any other possibilities. That's what I think.
Other possibilities. Huh. if something other than the spear killed Nagito, all I can think of is the knife stabbed into his hand, but...
That was definitely a gruesome wound, but it wouldn't be the fatal wound, don't you
Yeah.
think?
What a way to go, though, if it was. Could you imagine dying because someone stabbed you in the hand?
If you think the cuts on his legs and left arm aren't the fatal wounds...
Are we finished already?
I feel like it's possible that we overlooked something.
Overlooked, huh?
Then let's bring up whatever we can think of, one after the other. That might clear some things up.
Exactly! We should cooperate at a time like this.
Fatal wound that wasn't the spear. We don't even know if it actually exists, but if it does, we need to find out. We need to find out what it is, no matter what. Okay. Oh, you know what? Probably not a bad idea. What are we up to here? So the poison the poison bottle that was that was especially made for poisoning hasn't come up yet. Is it possible the poison was gaseous? So that's why he was duct taped? So he could only breathe it in? Is that possible?
Let us consider a different fatal wound.
Different fatal wound, yeah.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right?
It would have to be the spear through the gut.
It's not the other wounds, right?
Why? Why is it impossible to think that's the spear?
All those wounds. Maybe he simply bled to death.
There's no way he burned to death.
Was the cause of death something that cannot be seen?
Oh, come
Something
on.
that can't be seen. Maybe he choked himself with a sleeper hold.
Choked himself? What?
Or liquefied his guts with a body blow.
That's...
Just thinking about it, that's already a horrible death.
The real cause of Nagito's death is there something I overlooked. So, it's obviously
consider a
the
different fatal
poison
wound.
on the something that cannot be seen option.
It's not the knife in his right hand, right? It's not the other wounds, right?
With all those wounds. Maybe he simply bled to death.
There's no way he burned to death.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Was the cause of death something that cannot...
I agree with that. That's it. I totally forgot about that possibility.
But how would the poison have gotten out of his fridge? Right, that's my only issue with this currently, is someone had to break into, possibly break into Nagito's room, get the poison, use it, break back into his room, and put it back in the fridge. Consent with Sonia? How poignant. I know, right?
If the cause of death was something we can't see, then we have to consider poison as a possible method.
Poison? It is true that poison is not something you can see, but why did you bring that up all of a sudden?
I remember, when I went to investigate Nagito's cottage, I discovered something really strange. Inside the refrigerator, I found a bottle of Monokuma's special poison.
For poisoning use only.
Poison?
Additionally, that's a poison made specifically for killing. I see. Now that you mention it, there's no way a toxin like that doesn't relate to the case at all.
I mean, why is it so hard for these kids to believe that, like, he was tied up, tortured, and then had a spike? Or if he did himself in, that he just, you know, let a spear drop through him. Like...
If poison was the cause of death, it would not leave an obvious wound on Nagito's body.
However, it's common for blood blotches to appear on a body that's been poisoned.
I see. You sure seem to know a lot about medicine.
What does that
What?
mean?
But even if blood blotches appear, if the body was already covered in blood, there's no way we'd notice them easily, right?
Did he wound his body just to camouflage them?
This is all too fucking convoluted. Robo Ramen is a good stage, though I love the layout. Yeah, I really want to try out the new ramen stage. I genuinely do. But God,
That's also a possibility.
maybe I'm holding out for side order at this point. My urgency to go back to the game is just shot.
But still, both of Nagito's hands were full. So how would he drink poison?
His left hand was tied up and gripping the spear, and his right hand had a knife stuck in it.
If it was a slow-acting poison, it is possible he consumed it in advance.
So, Chad, am I drinking whiskey tonight?
No, the warning label on the bottle explicitly states the effect is instant.
Then it's impossible. Both his hands were full just before he died.
And this is when the hardtail appears.
Kinda, you're obsessed with Nagito's tail.
You're totally overvaluing that tail.
Did Kazuichi just call Nagito small?
His mouth was covered with duct tape, you know. If he wanted to drink poison, how'd he get it past his lips?
If there's no way he could have drank the poison, it might be impossible. Just kidding. It's not
Just
like
kidding!
there aren't possibilities.
At a time like this?
Are there any left?
Hell no! No matter how you slice it, he was totally killed by that spear!
Thank you!
Since we've already ruled out so many possibilities, it might be easier to think about what really killed him. Operation Elimination Method. The hint should be written on the poison's warning label. Maybe.
The way the poison entered Nagito's body. The answer is written on the warning label? What are you gonna do? Stab? Stab me moments before being stabbed. Right? Okay, I should think carefully and try to remember it. Oh, God. He didn't drink it, it was gaseous. Which is what I was saying about earlier, about his mouth being duct taped, so he could only breathe in. This is dumb. This is dumb. Fucking finally. Through his nose! Such fun and engaging gameplay.
It's all coming together. What if instead of drinking the poison, we assume he inhaled it?
Inhaled?
It's written on the poison's warning label.
This enchanted liquid is highly potent and takes effect immediately. Please handle with care. Although its volatility is low, this liquid is very dangerous when vaporized.
Dangerous when vaporized. In other words, breathing in the gas is fatal.
Poison gas! Then all he had to do was breathe it in through his nose!
He breathed that poisonous gas inside the warehouse? But if poisonous gas had spread throughout the warehouse, why didn't it kill us?
The reason we didn't breathe in the poisonous gas, I should be able to explain that mystery too. So it's the sprinklers, right? They washed it away effectively. The Monokuma merch! No.
I see! The sprinklers in the warehouse. Thanks to those, we didn't inhale that poison gas.
The poison gas disappeared because of the sprinklers? It wasn't the fire?
Well, this was also written on the poison's warning label.
Oh, Mimi, just pouring some Kraken. In a gaseous state, it is heavier than air. It breaks down in minutes and is susceptible to hydrolysis. So it is possible for you to poison someone to death without any complications. Interesting warning label you've got there, Monokuma.
Of course! Hydrolysis! The chemical bonds that formed the poison were broken down by the water from the sprinklers.
Wow, Sonia did a smart.
Also, the poison is apparently
Hey,
denser
Rico.
than air, so it probably didn't affect us because we were.
How's your day going? We're doing great, I think.
But Nagito was laying down, so he must have breathed in a whole bunch of it, huh?
If it meets the requirements that well, maybe it's not just a possibility anymore.
Yeah, the true cause of Nagito's death was poisoning. The wounds on his body, the spear in his stomach, it was all to keep us from learning the truth.
So what?
Huh?
We figured out that Nagito died from poison, but so what? In the end, it doesn't change the fact that he committed suicide, right? Then enough already!
Nagito inhaled the poison he prepared and died. Yeah, that still sounds like a suicide.
I don't know. Knowing the cause is important because it can change the context of things.
Well, with this, we have a clearer picture. We've also determined the true cause of death. All right. All the mysteries should be solved now. We should get on with the voting time, right?
Well, but...
What? There's still more?
I mean, not all the mysteries have been solved yet. In the end, Nagito's motive is still unclear. Did he commit suicide just so he could kill every last one of us? Was that really his motive? Is that really okay?
Hey, what happened? There's no reason to wonder about that stuff anymore, you know.
Nagito's motive. Nagito's malice. Is this really okay? Can we really finish this here? No. That can't be.
There might have been an accomplice.
Huh?
Chiaki, what did you just say?
If Nagito committed suicide by inhaling poison that he brought, then why wasn't there anything that looked like poison at the crime scene?
Anything that looked like poison?
If Nagito brought poison to the warehouse, it's strange that we couldn't find it there.
Oh! Oh! The fire grenades! Oh! Oh, that's brilliant! When they were throwing the fire grenades, they made a point of saying that they were doing nothing, right? They were like, okay, these grenades don't seem to be putting out this fire all that well. What if the fire grenades weren't filled with, you know, anything to extinguish the flame, but actually had the poison in it? Now, granted, in theory, Nagito should already be dead because of Spear. You know, but that turns everyone in the trial into a killer. Because if by some weird notion he didn't die from impaling, then we did it throwing the fire grenades. That means he's going to take us all down with him. We're all the Blackened, if that's true. Zappy, hi. How you doing? Oh, I really hope it's not that straightforward, though. Be a hell of an ending to the class trial, though, if this is the last one. Yeah, just this once, Rose. Everybody dies. Oh, boy. Okay, okay. Let's see where it goes. A donation statue of Postman Pat. That's interesting. Postman Pat. Postman Pat. Nagato really brought poison to the warehouse. And the thing that would have been left behind should be the container, yeah. The meat on the bone? Now don't give Akane any ideas.
I see! Are you talking about the container the poison was kept in?
Yeah. If Nagito brought it, it's strange we couldn't find that container anywhere, right?
He can't carry around poison without putting it in a container?
Yeah, that was written on the warning label.
Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool split. In a cool... I tried to say space and place at the same time and splice came out. Keep this liquid secure by storing it in a cool place. In a glass or plastic container away from sunlight.
The container probably melted in the fire.
It's probably plastic or glass, right? There's no way it'd completely incinerate. Even the plastic fragments of the fire grenades we used to put out the fire didn't completely burn up, you know?
If everyone is black, then everyone would be saved if they don't get the right answer, right? Unsure. Because if you pick the wrong person, the person guilty survives, but everyone else dies.
Then, does that mean someone got rid of the container?
So that's why you mentioned an accomplice.
Okay. Charge safely.
That is impossible!
And if everyone is guilty, then they pluck the dead as the guilty one. I mean...
An accomplice? It is just two?
Like, does that really matter all that much? I mean, even if he had an accomplice, it doesn't change the fact that Nagito still committed suicide.
You're right. Someone might have accidentally took it away from the crime scene.
Ah, you're right! You're totally right! That's totally it!
Right? Isn't it okay to close this case yet? I'm not in the mood for unexpected twists.
I don't want to hurt anyone. I don't want to get hurt anymore by hurting someone else. Everyone's tired. Tired of doubting everyone else. I also feel that way. That's why I just want to rule this as Nagito's suicide. If I do that, nobody here has to get hurt. But...
That's no good.
Huh?
I feel like Nagito is seeing through us. By calling this Nagito's suicide, we're trying to take the easy way out so we don't hurt anyone else. But if Nagito was here right now, he'd probably be sneering at us. he'd probably say something like, "So that's the extent of your hopes."
So Nagito's ghost is whispering to you, huh? The power of friendship bursts beyond death, huh? A fiery outcome like this is right out of a teen manga.
He's not our friend.
Still, that's pretty messed up.
Shut up! You just be quiet.
I get what you're saying, but in the end, the reason he died is still the same as before, right? Even if we solve this mystery, the conclusion won't change at all.
I mean, it'd be a suicide regardless, right?
Even if there really was an accomplice, is there any reason we should take the time to figure out who it is? Like Fuyuhiko said earlier, it is possible that somebody accidentally removed the poison from the crime scene.
But I just can't imagine ending this by turning our backs on the truth.
It's fine, okay? There are some things we're better off not
No.
knowing. And we probably just didn't notice it. Like maybe the container was hiding with the fire grenade fragments.
There it is. There it is. What's this feeling just now? Even though it was brief, it was like a strong flash of light running through the back of my head. Maybe what Akane said just now might be a new clue. From there, I might be able to reach the answer. The way Nagito brought the poison, which means the thing he used as a container was... Hangman's Gambit, why? Just say the fucking thing! Fire grenade.
I got it! I see! I got it!
Huh?
The fire grenades! Nagito put the poison inside one of the fire grenade canisters and transported it to the warehouse.
He used one of the fire grenade canisters?
Yeah, the container with the poison in it wasn't secretly taken away by someone. Instead, it was in a container that didn't need to be taken away in the first place. As long as he put the poison in the same container he brought to the warehouse, it can be hidden with the other fire grenades we used, so there's no need to dispose of the container later.
Bastard. He totally knew we were gonna throw those fire grenades.
Which means, did Nagito exchange the contents of a fire grenade?
Yeah, that has to be it.
When I first discovered those fire grenades, I tried to study them a little bit, but... the canister was completely sealed shut by a layer of aluminum underneath the lid.
You just have to peel off that seal and swap the insides, right?
That is true, but there was no sign he was even at the break room.
Hold on. Did you say
Yeah,
aluminum?
it's pronounced aluminium, you silly bitch.
Hajime. Could it be?
If so, then there's no mistake. Nagito definitely swapped the contents of one of the fire grenades.
Seriously? That's impossible. Miss Sonia just said so right now.
Sonia's words are proof that the poison was swapped with the contents of a fire grenade.
Huh?
Sonia's words contain a clue that the contents... Okay, sure. Anyway, it's the blue bit of... It's the blue thing, right? This... found under Nagito's bed.
I can prove it with this. Take a look. We found this under Nagito's bed when we were investigating his cottage.
Huh? That's just a piece of trash.
No, that is not just a piece of trash. The seal I saw on that fire grenade matched this. It is the same aluminum.
Aluminium.
You found the aluminum seal under Nagito's bed?
There's more. That's not the only thing we found in Nagito's room. We also found a gas mask and gloves under his bed, too.
Did he use those when he put the poison inside the fire grenade?
It's a dangerous poison after all. He took extreme caution when swapping them.
So, what's the issue? Nagito put the poison in the grenade canister, brought it with him, breathed it in, and died, right? So in the end, he still fucking committed suicide! Enough already!
You're right.
Except we threw the grenades.
If the canister wasn't thrown away, then it just means that there wasn't an accomplice after all.
See, I told you. The conclusion is still the same. Nagito committed suicide. End of story.
I admit that there wasn't an accomplice. That was just my misunderstanding.
You're right.
In actuality, the truth is even more horrifying.
Because it means everybody participated.
What did you say?
Hey, what are you planning to say now?
What the hell? Do you still want to keep going?
Is this not settled? There is no denying that Nagito's death was a suicide.
No, it's not.
Chiaki?
I'm sorry, but I just realized it.
Here we go.
Realized what?
We know Nagito used the grenade canister to store the poison. So when was it deployed in the warehouse? When did Nagito breathe in the poison? When I thought along those lines, that's when I realized it.
The horrifying truth?
It probably happened at the same time.
The moment the fire grenades were brought, and the moment Nagito breathed in the poison, were the same? When we all threw the grenades, oh.
I see! Are you saying it was when we all threw the fire grenades?
Yeah, I think so. When we all threw the grenades to put out the fire in the warehouse, the poison was deployed, and it converted to poison gas and killed Nagito.
If that is true, then the person who brought the poison and spread it was...
one of us.
What the heck?
So when does the spear come into it? Or is that just like, well, he's gonna be dead anyway. Let's just mess with them further.
One of us threw the poison grenade that killed Nagito?
Hold on a sec. Then Nagito was...
It would mean he didn't kill himself.
You said so yourself! You said Nagito committed suicide!
Then who killed Nagito?
At that point, it could be anyone, because it's not like it was obvious which container was which.
You mean, who's the actual killer, right?
Do you know?
Who prepared the poison fire grenade that killed Nagito?
Still Nagito. The person who prepared the poison fire grenade was still Nagito.
I see! It was Nagito, obviously. We just discussed this a few minutes ago.
Then who set the warehouse fire that caused one of us to throw the poison grenade?
Still Nagito.
I see!
I see!
That was also Nagito.
Hey, how many times are you gonna ask the same damn question?
The next question will be my last. Considering all the facts up till now, why did Nagito set the warehouse on fire?
The reason Nagito set the warehouse on fire was to make one of us throw the poison.
I see!
I see!
Don't tell me. He set the warehouse on fire just so we'd have to throw the fire grenades?
He set the fire just so we'd put it out? Why'd he do that?
It was a trap.
A trap?
Preparing the poison. Creating a reason for us to throw the poison. It was all a setup by Nagito. It was all a trap to make one of us throw the poison grenade.
Seriously, I'm asking you who
We
threw
don't
it.
know.
I don't know. The person who threw it probably didn't know either.
Huh? Could it be? Was that Nagito's trap?
This wasn't an intentional murder. This was a murder that Nagito forced someone to do. And for that reason, he put the fire grenade that he filled with poison with the other grenades. Setting up a murder nobody can solve. That was Nagito's true goal.
What? What the hell?
We're all gonna die!
Nagito did not commit murder. Instead, he manipulated someone else into killing him?
To do that, he set a trap to force someone to kill him. The poison grenade and the fire were traps. That's why the curtain was the fire's origin point.
Does Monokuma even know? I
All the
can't
fire
imagine he
grenades inside the
does.
curtain shattered once they fell to the floor. Because of that, Nagito, who was laying face up on the floor, was able to breathe in the dense poison. And then...
Hold on! If that's true, you can't say the poison was the cause of death. It might be the poison's fault he let go of the spear, but the actual cause of death could be either one.
Even so, the poison is what caused him to let go of the spear.
That's right! Nagito's killer is the one who made him breathe the poison!
Are you fucking serious?
That was his trap all along. Even the wounds all over his body, it was all to mess with the evidence for what actually happened. His true goal was creating a murder that nobody can solve. He wanted to prove to us that there are mysteries that just can't be solved with educated guesses.
He probably expected that his fake suicide would be found out. After all, a mystery that can be solved is destined to be solved in the end. However, he also prepared a mystery that couldn't be solved.
Ooh.
As you solve mysteries and bolster your hope, a huge mystery comes along and slaps you in your faces.